Hi everyone, welcome back to my third dev vlog. I'm an artist who's learning how to make a video game from scratch with almost no coding experience when I started. This time the video turned out more artistic than technical. I won't be showing much code today, mostly because it's still a bit of a mess, and I'm currently working on cutscenes and I haven't fully figured them out yet, so I'll share more on that in the future reports. Well, let me show you what I've been working on lately. First, I reworked the interior of the main cabin. The previous version was way too large and felt awkward. I didn't like how it looked or felt. I resized the space to make it more cozy and believable. I also redesigned some of the furniture. The carpet, for example, was way too detailed and drew too much attention. I repainted it in a calmer pink and green color palette that feels softer and more fitting with the overall mood. Most importantly, I drew one of the main items in a game, a shattered mirror, also known as the mirror path. This mirror will play a key role in the story. The player will need to collect its broken pieces. First location redesign. Then I moved on to the first outdoor location, the night forest, and gave it a small redesign. I changed the layout of the trees, added a static object and collision shapes so the player can't walk outside the boundaries. I also set up the camera to follow the player properly and prevent it from scrolling too far beyond the edges of the map. To create the right mood, I added a layer of fog since the first part of the game takes place at night. Eventually, I'll need to implement a day and night cycle. Right now, I'm brainstorming ways to do that without redrawing everything or making the light switch too abruptly. One idea I have is to overlay a semi-transparent color layer over the whole scene, like a bluish tone for night and pink or orange for dawn and dusk, so the environment gets tinted naturally. Maybe there's a proper way to handle lighting in Godot. I'll look into that soon. If you've got any tips, feel free to share them. Walk animations. I finally finished the walking up and down animation for the player character. It's still a bit goofy, but I kinda like it. I kept it simple, just 2 mirrored frames for each direction, enough to give the impression of stepping, making frog folk NPCs. I also started drawing some of the village NPCs. They belong to a race I'm calling the frog folk, still no name for the village though. One of them is a frog in pink, kind of a sassy queen type or mean girl. She thinks she rules the world, but she's fun and dramatic. The second one is a little frog kid, still in a school, very curious, always bothering the main character with silly questions. I think he'll be a fun companion character later on. First quest item, dried hot spring. Next, I drew the environment object for the first quest, a dried up hot spring. At first, it's just earth and clay, but after completing the quest from toddling, the spring will start flowing again. Later in the game, this will become a peaceful hangout spot where you'll see NPCs characters chilling, resting, and enjoying the water. I'm also planning to add ambient music and relaxing water sounds to this scene and make it a really chill place. Current progress and locations. So here's a quick breakdown of the current locations and how they're working. Location 1, Night Forest. After the intro cutscene, which I haven't done yet, the player wakes up in a mysterious forest. I'm thinking of adding rain and thunder sound effects here to add mood. Location 2, Inside the cabin. The player finds the cabin, explores it, and sees the shattered mirror. Originally, I wanted to trigger interaction with the E key, but now it will trigger a cutscene automatically. The player doesn't know why, but they feel drawn to collect the mirror shards. After that, the door won't open, and the character feels sleepy and goes to bed. Location 3, Morning Forest, different world. When the player wakes up, it's morning, but the world has changed. This is the magical forest world, and here the player meets their guide, a little frog called Toddling. I also learned how to implement simple dialogue choices. Depending on what the player picks, Toddling will respond differently. Location 4, Dried Spring Path. After the conversation with Toddling, he leads the player to the dried up spring, which becomes the first quest objective. So that's where I'm currently at. The cutscene here is still bugged, so that's what I'm working on fixing next. Conclusion. So yeah, that's my progress so far. I'm still learning and experimenting, but I'm starting to understand how all the parts connect together, which is super exciting. Next up, I want to fix the cutscene system. I need to clean up the code and make transitions between scenes work better. Create the inventory system, start drawing collectible items. I'm planning to add a small herb growing mechanic. It won't be a full farming system, just a cozy side activity. Of course, starting designing the next quests and locations. I also begin placing new NPCs into those areas. Research how to implement a day-night cycle. I'm looking into different methods that don't require redrawing everything. Think about new gameplay mechanics. Besides quests and herb growing, I'd love to add a combat system, something unusual and different from standard RPG battles. Thank you so much for watching and following along this journey. If you have any ideas or tips or recommendations, feel free to leave a comment. See you in the next devlog. Thank you, bye!